Welcome, Brandon. Thank you very much for joining us. And you recently won Superlative's monthly short story feature competition with your short story, A City Called Z. So tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind that story.
Well, I guess yeah. I mean, a city called Z is essentially it's a COVID story, I guess you'd say. But I think I was a physician during COVID, so I
Mhm.
think the whole inspiration behind that story was just trying to work out how I was feeling
Yeah,
during the pandemic. And it was one of those things I'm sure you know. I mean, it happened so fast that a lot of us didn't get time to really sit down and process how we were
yeah,
feeling. Um, but I think that's more just like the setting that it takes place in, but I think it's really more a story about loneliness and maybe
yeah.
um, about the maladaptive things we sometimes do to maintain our own loneliness and work against ourselves,
Right.
um, which was the part I found more interesting.
Yeah, I remember thinking that when I read it for the first time, actually, that first of all, I thought it was a COVID story. And then actually, the further I got through it, the more I realized that actually it wasn't a COVID story. There was a lot more to it than that, which then just intrigued me more and more. So, do you find being a physician and then, as we were talking about earlier on, kind of other elements of your job, they find their way into your stories as a way to kind of process them?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I think that's they tend to have that sort of setting because
Yes.
that is the setting I'm familiar with. So I
Yeah.
think that's what kind of grounds me to the world and to the story in a way. But I don't um, I don't consciously just try to write like medical stories.
Yeah.
I want them to be about um, you know, just like the universal human feeling that I'm
Yeah.
feeling in that context.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, I think with COVID, it was just that I realized like that was a very lonely time, I think, for a
Yeah.
lot of people. Um, but when I was going through it, um, I realized that I didn't feel that different than I,
Right.
I I normally felt, because I was in residency still at the
Yes.
time, and so I was still, my job was the same. I was still working, 80 to 100 hours a week. I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
coming home. I still wasn't seeing anybody or getting
No.
texts from people and so it was like, oh wow, and watching kind of the world's reaction, it was like, oh, have I just been in like a 4 year long, have I been pandemic myself? Like, have I been feeling like this the whole time? And what ways have I been doing? What have I been doing to maintain that state?
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that it gave you that kind of reality check that actually maybe I've not been doing it to yourself because obviously you were in the program, but it's been happening to you all the whole time.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay. And yeah, that's really interesting that the story gave you the space to write about that and to process that. So it became so much more than just a story about COVID set in a hospital.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, fantastic. That's brilliant. Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course.